There comes a time when you must rise not just as the person you've been, but as the royalty God has already declared you to be. You are not ordinary. You are not just another face in the crowd. You have been set apart, chosen before time began, and the world can sense it. That is why your presence alone commands attention, sparks envy, and attracts both admiration and opposition. But here's what many don't realize: the way you respond to the world around you will determine your next level of elevation. People will test you. They will question your authority. Some will try to provoke you, hoping to pull you into their chaos. Others will challenge your worth, not realizing that your value was determined by God before they ever had an opinion about you. The enemy knows he cannot strip you of your divine calling, so he will try to make you doubt it, defend it, or waste energy proving yourself to those who were never meant to see your vision. But royalty does not explain itself. Royalty does not beg to be understood. Royalty walks with confidence, answers with wisdom, and moves with grace. You were called to lead, to stand in divine authority, to be a light in a world full of darkness. And because of that, you must learn the art of responding like a king, like a queen, not out of emotion, not out of insecurity, but out of the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are in God. So I ask you, are you ready? Are you prepared to carry yourself in a way that reflects the divine power within you? Because the moment of testing is near. The moment where your reaction could either elevate you or keep you stuck is coming. Stay ready, because your next level is closer than you think. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when you will be tested not in the way the world expects, but in a manner designed to reveal your true identity. This test will not be about how much you know or how strong you appear to be. It will be about how you carry yourself, how you respond to the trials, and whether you truly understand the divine authority placed upon you. Every king and queen throughout history has faced this moment. It's not when they sit on the throne that their royalty is proven, it's in the trials, in the battles, in the moments when everything and everyone challenges them. True authority is not given, it is revealed. And you, as God's chosen one, are walking through this revelation. The world is watching you, though you may not realize it. They observe how you react to negativity, how you handle setbacks, how you move when pressure surrounds you. They want to see, are you really who you say you are? Do you truly believe in the power God has given you? Or will you fold when the test comes? But understand this, God does not test you to break you. He tests you to elevate you. He wants to see if you can remain poised under pressure, if you can maintain your dignity when you are provoked, if you can hold on to your faith when everything around you seems to be against you. You don't prepare for a battle the day the enemy arrives, you prepare every single day. That is why you must stay ready, because when the moment comes, you won't have time to get ready. You will only have time to respond, and how you respond will determine your next level. The enemy will send people into your life disguised as friends, lovers, mentors, or even family members. They will test your patience, challenge your peace, and provoke you into reacting in ways that are beneath your calling. They will try to pull you into unnecessary battles, hoping to distract you from your purpose. Do not fall into the trap. Instead, move like royalty. Think of a king or queen. Do they engage in petty arguments? Do they seek approval from those who do not understand their worth? Do they defend their position every time someone questions them? No, they sit in their power, unshaken, because they know their position is ordained not by man, but by God, and that is the mindset you must adopt. True power is not loud, it is not reactive, it is steady, unmovable, and undeniable. That is why kings and queens do not respond to every voice. They do not lower themselves to prove anything. They understand that their presence alone speaks louder than any argument ever could. You, too, must learn to embody this truth. This is why you must stay ready. Because the moment of your test is coming. The world will challenge you. People will misjudge you. The enemy will try to shake you. But when you stand firm in your divine identity, you win without even having to fight. And here's the secret: God has already declared your victory. You don't have to prove it to anyone. Just walk in it. In a world where everyone is quick to react, quick to defend themselves, and quick to prove their worth, your greatest strength as a chosen one is your ability to remain still, composed, and unshaken. This is not a weakness, it is a demonstration of true power. Because when you know who you are, you don't need validation. When you understand your authority, you don't need to announce it. Your presence alone speaks volumes. But here's the challenge: people will try to pull you into battles that are beneath you. They will question your motives, misunderstand your actions, and even doubt your calling. They will try to provoke a reaction because they cannot comprehend how someone like you carries such peace, such confidence, such divine energy. Do not give them what they seek. A lion does not respond to the bark of a dog. A king does not explain his decisions to every critic. And you, as a chosen one, do not need to lower yourself to meet people at their level of misunderstanding. Instead, you answer like royalty. So how do you do that? How do you carry yourself as royalty when people try to provoke you? Silence is your weapon. Not every situation requires a response. Not every insult, doubt, or challenge needs to be addressed. True power lies in discernment, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence can be louder than words. It forces people to sit with their own doubts and misconceptions rather than receiving an emotional reaction from you. A king or queen does not argue with everyone who misunderstands them. They move forward in purpose, knowing the truth will reveal itself in time. Walk with the confidence of your calling. Chosen ones do not seek approval because they know their value is already determined by God. When you step into a room, your energy shifts the atmosphere. People may not understand it, but they feel it. Some will be drawn to it, and others will be threatened by it. That's not your concern. Your job is to walk in your divine calling, knowing that what God has for you cannot be taken by anyone. Choose your battles wisely. Not every fight is meant for you. Some battles are distractions designed to pull you away from your destiny. When someone challenges you, before you respond, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this elevate me or drain me? A king does not fight every battle, he fights only the battles that secure his kingdom. You must do the same. Let your results speak for themselves. The most powerful response to doubt, criticism, or resistance is your success. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. Your growth, your transformation, and your elevation will be the answer to every question and every doubt. Keep moving forward. Keep building. Keep growing. Let God's work in your life be your answer. Understand that you are already victorious. The enemy wants you to believe that you need to fight for your destiny. But the truth is, you have already won. The tests, the trials, the doubts, these are not signs that you are losing. They are signs that you are stepping into something greater. When you start facing resistance, it's not because you are weak, it's because you are a threat. The enemy does not attack those who are stagnant. He attacks those who are rising. So stand firm, move like royalty, answer like royalty, and most importantly, trust that God has already secured your victory. Because when you truly embrace this, nothing and no one can shake you. The moment you start walking in your true power, the moment you stop seeking validation from the world and start embracing your divine authority, opposition will come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But understand this, opposition is not a sign that you are failing. It is confirmation that you are elevating. The enemy only attacks those who are stepping into their God-given destiny. So when the challenges come, when people start questioning you, when they misunderstand your journey, stand Stand firm, because you are not just anybody, you are royalty. 1. The greater the calling, the greater the opposition. Have you ever noticed how the most anointed, the most chosen, the most divinely appointed individuals go through the most intense battles? It's not a coincidence. The enemy is terrified of what you are becoming. He sees the light on you before you even fully recognize it yourself. That is why people suddenly start turning against you. Why old relationships no longer fit. Why certain doors seem harder to open. But here's the secret. What is for you cannot be taken from you. No amount of resistance can block what God has already destined. If anything, the opposition is proof that you are on the right path. 2. Do not react, respond with wisdom. When people attack you, when they slander you, when they try to pull you into drama, understand that your response determines your elevation. A king does not argue with every critic. A queen does not lower herself to meet those who misunderstand her power. You must learn to respond with wisdom, not emotion. If someone questions your growth, stay silent and let time reveal the truth. If someone doubts your calling, remember that they are not the ones who anointed you, God is. If someone tries to pull you into conflict, ask yourself, will this elevate me or drain me? If it drains you, walk away. True power is not in reacting, it is in choosing where to place your energy. 3. Recognizing spiritual warfare. Many of the battles you face are not just physical or emotional, they are spiritual. The enemy will use people, circumstances, and even your own doubts to try and shake your faith. But God has already equipped you with everything you need to overcome. Discernment will reveal who is truly for you and who is secretly working against you. Patience will allow you to see how God is turning every attack into a setup for your victory. Faith will remind you that no matter how hard it gets, you are already victorious. You were not placed here to live in fear. You were not anointed to spend your days fighting meaningless battles. You were chosen to reign, to lead, to walk in divine power. The sooner you recognize this, the sooner you will stop allowing distractions to pull you off course. 4. Own your royalty. Walk in unshakable confidence. Chosen ones, you are not just here to survive, you are here to thrive. Stop seeking approval from those who do not see your worth. Stop trying to convince people who were never meant to understand you. Your destiny is too great to be delayed by small-minded opinions. When opposition comes, walk with your head high. When doubts creep in, remind yourself of who you are. When people question your calling, remember that the only validation you need comes from God. Because at the end of the day, you are royalty, and royalty does not beg to be recognized, it simply reigns. Now that you understand the opposition, the distractions, and the spiritual warfare that come with being chosen, it is time to fully embody your divine authority. You are not placed here to move through life timidly, apologizing for your greatness. You were chosen to walk in power, to lead, to inspire, and to reign in your rightful position. 1. Release the need for external validation. One of the biggest traps for chosen ones is the need for external validation. Many of you have spent your lives waiting for someone to acknowledge your greatness, to confirm your calling, or to tell you that you are worthy. But the truth is, if you are waiting for validation from the world, you will always feel incomplete. A lion does not need a committee to approve its roar. It simply roars because it knows who it is. A king does not ask his subjects for permission to rule. He steps into his authority because it is his divine right. You do not need permission to be powerful. You already are. When you stop seeking validation, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for approval before making moves. You move in confidence, knowing that God has already approved you. 2. Speak and act like royalty. Power is not just about what you believe, it's about how you carry yourself. The way you speak, the way you walk, the way you handle challenges, these all reflect whether you truly understand your divine identity. Speak with authority, Chosen ones do not shrink themselves to fit into conversations that are beneath them. Walk with purpose. Chosen ones do not wander aimlessly. They step boldly into every room knowing they belong. Make decisions with wisdom. Chosen ones do not react emotionally to every situation. They pause, reflect, and act strategically. You must ask yourself, am I carrying myself as the divine leader I was created to be? If not, it's time to realign. Because when you fully step into your divine power, the world will adjust to you, not the other way around. 3. Protect your energy and your presence. Not everyone deserves access to you. The higher you rise, the more selective you must become. Not everyone can sit at your table. Some people are only in your life to drain you, to distract you, or to slow you down. Not everyone should know your plans. Royalty does not announce every move. They move in silence and let their actions speak. Not everyone can handle your elevation. Some people were comfortable with you when you were struggling, but they cannot handle seeing you walk in power. You must learn to guard your energy the way a king guards his palace. Be mindful of who and what you allow into your space. If something does not align with your divine assignment, let it go. 4. Trust that you were prepared for this moment. You have been through too much to doubt yourself now. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of pain was preparing you for this exact moment. The rejection was redirection. You were being pulled away from places that could not contain your greatness. The isolation was preparation. God was developing you in private so you could shine in public. The challenges were training. You had to go through the fire to come out refined, stronger and wiser. Now, the question is, will you fully embrace your divine authority? Or will you let fear hold you back? Because you are no longer in a season of waiting, you are in a season of ruling. 5. The final shift, owning your role as a leader. Chosen ones, you are not just here to exist, you are here to lead. You are here to inspire others, to break generational curses, and to be a beacon of light in a world full of darkness. Step into every room like you belong there. Because you do, make decisions with confidence. Because you are being divinely guided, know that your presence alone is powerful. Because it is, this is your moment. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to stand out. You were not created to follow, you were created to lead. You were not put on this earth to be ordinary, you were born extraordinary. So rise, the world is waiting for you to embrace your true power. Chosen ones, this is your time. You have spent too long questioning your worth, doubting your purpose, and seeking approval from a world that was never meant to validate you. But now, the truth is clear, you were chosen, set apart, and crowned before you were even born. The moment you accept this, everything in your life will shift. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to chase validation. You do not need to ask for permission to step into your divine power. You already have the authority, and now it is time to walk in it. Move with confidence, knowing that you are divinely protected. Speak with authority, understanding that your words carry power. Stand firm, because no weapon formed against you shall prosper. The battles you have faced were not to break you, but to prepare you. The rejection you endured was not punishment, but redirection. The challenges you overcame were not to weaken you, but to refine you. Now, the world is watching. Will you shrink back, or will you rise? Remember, a king does not beg for his throne. A chosen one does not ask for permission to shine. You were born for this. You have already won. Your victory is already sealed. The only thing left to do is walk in it. So today, make a decision. Stop questioning who you are and start owning it. Because when you do, nothing and no one can stop you. The crown is already on your head, now rule accordingly. If this message resonates with you, let me know in the comments below. Type "I am chosen" and claim your divine power. And if you're ready to walk boldly in your purpose, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful messages. Your journey has only just begun. The need for approval is a cage, and chosen ones, you were never meant to live in a cage. From the moment you were born, the world tried to shape you into something you were never meant to be. It told you to fit in, to be liked, to gain acceptance from people who will never truly understand the depth of your calling. But here's the truth: you were not chosen to be accepted. You were chosen to stand out. Many of you feel the weight of constantly seeking validation, whether from family, friends, society, or even strangers. You dim your light, you shrink your presence, and you silence your voice just to avoid rejection. But what if I told you that seeking approval is the very thing keeping you from stepping into your divine power? The more you chase validation, the further you drift from the path God has set for you. Because when you seek approval from people, you hand them control over your destiny. But deep inside, you already know this, don't you? You feel it, the frustration, the exhaustion, the emptiness of constantly trying to prove yourself. You try to please others, only to feel unseen. You do what's expected, only to feel unfulfilled. And yet, something inside you whispers that there's more, that you were not meant to follow the crowd but to lead with purpose. Think about the great ones who came before you, those who carried divine missions. Did they ever fit in? No, they were misunderstood, rejected, cast aside by the very people they were sent to help. Moses had to walk alone. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers. Jesus himself was despised and rejected by the world. Yet, none of them sought the approval of men. They walked boldly in their purpose, despite the opposition, because they understood one thing: their calling was not given to them by people, so it could never be taken away by people. And the same applies to you. You were chosen by a higher power. Your mission was assigned before you were even born. So why waste another moment trying to convince people who will never see what God has placed within you? Today, I'm here to tell you it's time to break free. It's time to stop waiting for the world to validate what God has already confirmed within you. The path ahead may be lonely, it may be misunderstood, but make no mistake, you were not called to be ordinary. You were called to be extraordinary. So let go of the fear, let go of the need for approval. Step boldly into the power that has always been yours. Because when you finally stop seeking validation, you will unlock the greatest truth of all: you were enough all along. From the moment you took your first breath, the world began shaping you. Before you even knew who you truly were, you were being taught how to behave, what to believe, and most dangerously, how to seek approval. It started at home, where love and acceptance often felt conditional. A smile, a nod of approval, or a word of encouragement only seemed to come when you did what was expected of you. If you colored inside the lines, followed the rules, and stayed within the boundaries that others set for you, you were rewarded. But if you strayed, if you questioned, if you expressed something different from the norm, you were met with silence, disapproval, or even punishment. This pattern repeated itself in school, where you were taught to obey rather than to think for yourself. You were taught to seek gold stars, good grades, and praise from teachers, not to embrace your individuality or question the system. You were programmed to believe that success meant pleasing authority figures, fitting in with the crowd, and blending into the mold that was already created for you. Your worth was measured by how well you conformed, not by how brightly your soul could shine. Then came society, an even greater force of conditioning. Everywhere you turned, you were bombarded with messages that reinforced the need for external validation. The media, social norms, cultural expectations, all of it designed to make you believe that happiness, success, and even love could only come if you were approved by others. That you needed to be liked, that you needed to be accepted, that your value was something to be earned, rather than something that was already within you. And for the chosen ones, this programming was even more intense, because deep down, you always knew you were different. You always felt a greater calling, a deeper wisdom, an inner knowing that didn't align with the world's shallow standards. But instead of embracing it, you were taught to suppress it, to hide your light, to tone yourself down just to fit in. You learned to silence your truth because every time you tried to express it, you faced resistance. You were told you were too much, too intense, too different. So you did what you were trained to do. You shrank yourself just to be accepted. But here's the truth. Seeking approval is a form of control. The world has designed a system that keeps people in line, that keeps them afraid to stand out, that keeps them from tapping into their true power. Because the moment you stop seeking approval, you become unstoppable. When you no longer need permission to be who you are. When you stop caring about what people think. When you release the fear of rejection, that is when you truly begin to step into your destiny. The greatest leaders, visionaries, and chosen ones throughout history never sought approval. They didn't wait for permission to be great. They didn't conform to what was expected. They broke free from it. They walked their path boldly, even if it meant walking alone. And now, you are being called to do the same. This is your wake-up call. It's time to break free from the programming. It's time to stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for truth. The world doesn't define your worth. The opinions of others do not determine your destiny. You were chosen for a reason, and the only approval you ever needed was already given to you by the Creator. So let go of the need to be liked. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the fear of rejection. Because the moment you stop seeking approval, you reclaim your power, and that is when your true journey begins. From the moment you entered this world, the conditioning began. You were taught to follow the rules, to do what's expected, to make others happy. Society told you that your worth was measured by how well you fit in, how many people liked you, how much validation you could gather. And slowly, without even realizing it, you began to trade your authenticity for approval. It started in childhood. Maybe you were the one who was always different, the one who saw things others didn't. But instead of being celebrated for your uniqueness, you were told to be normal, to stop being so intense, to just go along with the crowd. And so, you learned to suppress your true self, to wear a mask, to play a role, to become what others expected of you. Then came school, where approval was tied to grades, popularity, and fitting into a system that was never designed for chosen ones. If you spoke up too much, you were told to be quiet. If you questioned things, you were labeled difficult. If you stood out, you were made to feel like an outsider. The world conditioned you to believe that in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, you had to conform. And for many, this pattern continued into adulthood, seeking approval from family, from friends, from bosses, from society. You became trapped in a cycle, constantly adjusting, constantly molding yourself into what others wanted, all while feeling the deep emptiness of not living as your true self. But here's the dangerous truth. The enemy uses this conditioning to keep chosen ones from stepping into their power. The more you seek approval, the further you drift from your divine purpose. The more you try to be accepted, the less you recognize your own worth. This world will always try to convince you that you are not enough, that you must do more, be more, prove more in order to be loved. But that is a lie, because real power, real freedom, comes when you finally realize you do not need their approval. You never did. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. Your mission was given to you by a higher authority, not by the opinions of others. And once you wake up to this truth, everything changes. So I ask you, how much longer will you keep waiting for permission to be who you were meant to be? The time has come to break free from the programming, to reclaim your identity, to stop looking outward for validation and start looking within. Because the moment you do, you will step into the power that has been waiting for you all along. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the weight of seeking approval becomes unbearable. You reach a crossroads where you must make a decision: continue shrinking yourself to fit the mold society has placed on you, or break free and step into your divine identity. And this decision is not an easy one. The need for validation is deeply ingrained. It has been programmed into you since birth. But when you finally awaken, when you finally see the truth, you realize something powerful. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to lead. This is where transformation begins. Because once you recognize the trap of seeking approval, you start to reclaim your power. You stop asking, "Will they accept me?" and start declaring, "I accept myself." You stop wondering, "Do they believe in me?" and start affirming, "God has already confirmed my purpose." You stop looking for permission to be great and realize you were born for greatness. But here's the truth that many are not ready for. When you stop seeking approval, the world will push back. The people who once praised you may suddenly turn against you. Friends may distance themselves. Family may not understand your path. And this is where many chosen ones hesitate, because walking in your power often means walking alone. But do not fear isolation. Every chosen one must go through the wilderness before stepping into their divine purpose. Look at the great ones throughout history. Moses had to leave Egypt. Joseph had to endure betrayal and imprisonment before reaching the throne. Even Jesus had to spend time alone in the wilderness before stepping fully into his mission. The separation isn't punishment, it's preparation. The wilderness is where you learn who you truly are. It is where you strip away the need for approval, the fear of rejection, the false identities you once carried. It is where you come face to face with your power and finally realize you never needed them to validate you. Your worth was decided before the foundation of the world. But here's the beauty of this journey. Once you break free, the right people will begin to find you. The ones who are meant to walk with you will recognize your light. They will not need you to shrink to make them comfortable. They will celebrate you as you rise. And those who cannot handle your elevation, they will fall away. And that is a blessing. Because once you stop living for others and start living in your truth, you will experience a level of peace, power, and freedom that cannot be taken away. You will walk with confidence, knowing that your worth is not defined by human opinions, but by divine purpose. So, ask yourself, are you ready to let go? Are you ready to stop seeking permission to be who you were always meant to be? Because the time is now. Your destiny is waiting. And the only approval you ever needed was already given to you the moment you were chosen. Once you stop seeking approval, something incredible happens. You begin to operate in your true power. No longer bound by the expectations of others, no longer weighed down by the need to conform. You start to see the world differently. You realize that the limitations placed upon you were never real. They were only as powerful as the belief you gave them. And now, you are free. Free to walk in your calling. Free to embrace your gifts. Free to live the life you were destined for. But here's what most people won't tell you. Stepping into your true power requires courage. It requires a level of boldness that many will not understand. You will no longer be able to blend in. You will no longer be able to silence your voice just to make others comfortable. Your light will shine too brightly, and not everyone will be able to handle it. The world has conditioned people to seek validation, to measure their worth by likes, follows, and the approval of others. But as a chosen one, You were never meant to play by those rules. You were meant to rise above the noise, to stand firm in your truth, to lead by example. And that means detaching from the opinions of the crowd and aligning yourself fully with your divine assignment. When you stop seeking approval, you stop being controlled. No one can manipulate you with rejection. No one can hold you back with disapproval. No one can make you feel small, because you no longer give them the power to define you. Instead, you draw your strength from within, from your faith, from your purpose, from the undeniable truth that you were created for something greater. And the moment you embrace this truth, the universe responds. Doors that were once closed begin to open. The opportunities that once seemed impossible start to manifest. The right people, your true tribe, those who recognize your purpose, will be drawn to you. Because when you no longer seek approval, you attract alignment. But understand this, living in your true power will require sacrifice. You may have to leave behind relationships that no longer serve you. You may have to walk away from environments that stifle your growth. And that can be painful. But what is more painful? Living a life that is not yours. Wasting your potential trying to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. So I ask you now, are you willing to step into your power? Are you ready to embrace the path that was written for you before time began? Because the world does not need another person who is afraid to shine. The world needs you fully awake, fully empowered, fully walking in your purpose. This is your moment. The choice is yours. The time for seeking approval is over. The time for questioning your worth, doubting your path, and waiting for others to validate you has come to an end. You were not chosen to conform. You were chosen to lead. You were set apart before time began, given a unique calling, and equipped with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. The only thing left for you to do is step into it fully, unapologetically, and fearlessly. Understand this, the world will not always applaud your growth. Not everyone will celebrate your awakening. Some will misunderstand you. Some will resent you. Some will even try to pull you back into the version of yourself they were comfortable with. But you are not here to live for them. You are here to fulfill your divine assignment. You no longer need permission to be great. You no longer need validation to know your worth. You were created with purpose, crafted with intention, and set apart for something far greater than you can even imagine. Walk boldly in that truth. Stand firm in your power. Trust that everything you have endured was preparing you for this moment. And if you ever find yourself doubting, if you ever feel tempted to shrink back into the old patterns of seeking approval, remember who you are. Remember the fire that burns inside you. Remember that the only validation you ever needed was already given to you by the Creator Himself. This is your season of breakthrough. This is your moment to rise. No more waiting. No more hesitating. Step forward, chosen one, and embrace the destiny that was always meant for you. Chosen one, listen carefully. Your struggle has not gone unnoticed. Every sleepless night, every painful setback, every moment of doubt, it was all seen, all recorded, all accounted for. And now, the message is clear. You have already won. Your victory has been sealed by God Himself. For too long, you have fought battles in silence. You have carried burdens that no one else could see. You've been misunderstood, overlooked, and even betrayed by those who were supposed to stand with you. And yet, you endured. You pressed forward even when the weight was unbearable. But the truth is, you were never fighting alone. God has been walking with you through every storm, every hardship, every dark valley, and while you were busy trying to survive, God was already preparing your victory. The world told you that you had to earn it, that you had to prove yourself worthy, that you had to struggle your way to the top. But here's the truth, the price has already been paid in full. The debt is cleared. The battle is over. But why, then, do so many of God's chosen ones still live as if they are fighting for something they already possess? Why do you still feel stuck in survival mode when you have already been crowned victorious? It's because the enemy doesn't want you to wake up to who you truly are. The moment you realize that your success, your breakthrough, and your elevation have already been secured, the chains will break, fear will dissolve, struggle will end, and you will finally step into the fullness of your destiny. You were not created to live in lack. You were not meant to scrape and beg for what is already yours. You are a child of the Most High. You are chosen. You are anointed. And now, it's time for you to claim the victory that was written in your name before time began. In this message, I am going to reveal to you why the struggles you have faced were never about breaking you, they were about preparing you. I will show you why God's divine plan for you is already unfolding, why everything you lost is about to be restored, and why your suffering was never a punishment, it was a setup for something greater. So stay with me, open your heart, because by the end of this message, you will never see your life the same way again. The war is over. You've already won. And now, it's time to walk boldly into your divine inheritance. For years, you have carried the weight of the struggle on your shoulders. You have been told that success, peace, and blessings only come through hardship and sacrifice. You have fought battles you never should have fought, chasing after things that were already destined to be yours. And yet, no matter how hard you try, it always feels like something is missing, like you're still one step away from true victory. But what if I told you that the victory is already won, that the war is already over, and that you are simply walking in the footsteps of what has already been secured for you? The world has conditioned you to believe that if you're not constantly struggling, constantly grinding, constantly proving yourself, then you don't deserve the reward. But let me ask you this: when did God ever say that your worth was tied to your effort? When did He say that your blessings were something you had to chase? The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The enemy knows that if he can keep you in a mindset of struggle, he can keep you from stepping into your divine inheritance. He knows that if you believe you always have to work harder, push further, and prove your worth, you will never take hold of the promises God has already given you. He wants you to think that you are still in the wilderness, when in reality, the promised land is already beneath your feet. Think about it: when a child of a king is born, do they have to beg for their inheritance? Do they have to fight to prove that they are worthy of their birthright? No, they are born into it. It is their identity. And as a chosen one, you were born into spiritual royalty. You were set apart before time began. You don't have to strive for favor. You don't have to hustle for blessings. You don't have to seek validation from a world that will never understand who you truly are. You only have to claim what has already been given to you. But here's the problem: the enemy doesn't want you to know that. He wants to keep you trapped in a cycle of frustration, exhaustion, and doubt. He wants to make you believe that if you're not constantly in battle, then you're doing something wrong. But that is a deception. God never called you to live in constant struggle. Yes, there are seasons of testing, seasons of refinement, and moments where faith is required. But God never meant for you to carry the weight of your destiny alone. He never meant for you to live in fear, uncertainty, or lack. Your inheritance was secured before you were even born. Your victory was already written in the heavens. And yet, how many of us continue to chase what is already ours? How many of us wake up each day believing that we still have to prove something to God? That we have to earn His love, His provision, His miracles? Let me tell you something today. You don't have to earn what has already been paid in full. It is finished. John 19:30. When Jesus spoke those words on the cross, He wasn't just talking about salvation, he was talking about the fulfillment of every promise. Every blessing, every breakthrough that was meant for you. It was already sealed in the heavens. The contract was signed, the debt was cleared, and the victory was secured. So why do you still live as if you are in bondage? Why do you still walk as if you are defeated? You are not a slave to struggle. You are not a servant begging for scraps. You are a child of God, an heir to the kingdom, and your Father has already declared that you are victorious. But the final step, the only thing left for you to do is to believe it. You must break free from the illusion that you are still fighting for your place. You are already seated in heavenly places. You are already called, already chosen, already blessed. But until you recognize that truth, you will continue to live as if you are still lost. So today, I am calling you to step into your birthright. Stop striving, stop doubting, stop living in the past as if your future isn't already secured. The moment you shift your mindset from lack to abundance, from struggle to surrender, from doubt to trust, everything will change. God is waiting for you to stop chasing and start receiving. He is waiting for you to stand up, take your rightful place, and walk in the victory that has already been won for you. The doors that seemed locked will suddenly open. The blessings that felt delayed will pour into your life. And you will finally understand you were never meant to struggle for what was always yours. How many times have you felt like you weren't doing enough? Like no matter how much you pray, work, or strive, it's still not enough to get ahead. Maybe you've been carrying the weight of your past, feeling like you still need to make up for old mistakes. Maybe you've been conditioned to believe that blessings are only for those who earn them. But let me tell you this, that is a lie. You see, the enemy wants you to believe that you still have a debt to pay, that you still have to prove your worth to God. But the truth is, your debt was paid in full long before you ever took your first breath. He canceled the record of the charges against us and took it away by nailing it to the cross. Colossians 2:14, when Jesus said, "It is finished," he meant it. Not halfway done, not partially paid, completely finished. The spiritual price for your breakthrough, your healing, your financial provision, your destiny, it was all settled in full. The chains of lack and struggle were broken the moment he declared victory. But here's where many of us get stuck. We keep acting like we still owe something. Think about it like this. Imagine you were drowning in debt, struggling to make ends meet, and someone out of pure love came and paid off every single cent you owed. No conditions, no strings attached, but instead of accepting the gift, you kept living as if you were still in debt. You kept stressing over bills that no longer existed. You kept holding yourself back from opportunities because you believed you were still financially stuck. That's exactly how many chosen ones live their lives. You've been set free, but you're still living like a prisoner. You've been given victory, but you're still walking as if you're in battle. Why? Because the world has trained you to believe that nothing comes without struggle. The enemy doesn't want you to realize that you can walk in power right now, that you don't have to wait for one day to experience the fullness of God's provision. He wants to keep you in survival mode, always chasing, always seeking, never realizing that you are already standing on holy ground. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Psalm 23:1. Not I will lack nothing someday. Not if I work hard enough. I won't lack anything. No, you lack nothing right now. But the key is, you have to believe it and start living accordingly. Look around at your life. What have you been delaying because you think you're not ready? What have you been postponing because you believe you still need to earn your breakthrough? What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your next level is your mindset? Your finances, already secured. Your purpose, already written. Your destiny, already sealed. But if you keep operating from a place of fear, lack, and self-doubt, You will never step into the abundance that has already been assigned to you. You must renew your mind and let go of the false belief that you are still paying a price that has already been paid. This is why the enemy works so hard to keep chosen ones distracted, confused, and uncertain. He knows that the moment you wake up and realize that you've already won, his control over you is broken forever. He will try to make you feel unworthy. He will try to remind you of your past failures. He will try to convince you that you have to struggle a little longer. But hear me when I say this, the price has already been paid. The time of waiting is over. Right now, you have a choice. You can either continue living as if you still owe something, or you can step into the divine truth that everything you need is already yours. God is not waiting for you to prove yourself, He is waiting for you to believe. Because the moment you shift your perspective, the blessings that have been held back will come rushing in. The doors that seemed impossible to open will swing wide, and you will finally walk in the fullness of the inheritance that was always meant for you. You are not a servant trying to earn favor. You are a child of God, stepping into what has already been given. So now that you understand the price has already been paid, the real question is, why aren't you living in your inheritance? Many chosen ones are still stuck in survival mode because they've been conditioned to believe that blessings must be earned through endless struggle. But let me tell you this, your inheritance is not something you have to fight for. It is something you must step into. Think about a prince or princess born into royalty. The moment they are born, they are already heirs to the throne. They don't have to beg for their position. They don't have to prove themselves worthy. Their birthright has already secured their future. But imagine if that prince or princess refused to claim their throne, instead choosing to live as a commoner, struggling day after day because they didn't believe they were truly royalty. That's exactly what many chosen ones are doing right now. God has already declared you victorious, but if you don't believe it, if you don't claim it, if you don't walk in the authority given to you, then you will continue to live beneath your true calling. Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Luke 12:32. Not will give you, not might give you if you work hard enough, has given you. So why are so many of God's chosen ones still struggling financially, emotionally, and spiritually? Because the enemy has convinced them to stay in a mindset of lack rather than step into a mindset of abundance. Breaking free from the scarcity mindset, the biggest weapon the enemy uses against chosen ones is the lie of scarcity. He wants you to believe there isn't enough for you. Your blessings are far away. You have to fight and struggle just to survive. You will always be behind. But let me tell you, this scarcity is an illusion. The moment you shift your mindset, the moment you begin to operate in faith instead of fear, doors will open that you never imagined. Look at the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. God had already promised them the land flowing with milk and honey. Yet many of them doubted and complained. Instead of walking into their inheritance, they wandered in the desert for 40 years, not because God was holding back, but because they refused to believe. Are you still wandering in your own wilderness? How many opportunities have passed you by because you doubted yourself? How many times has God given you the vision, but you hesitated because you didn't feel ready? How long will you allow fear to keep you from your promised land? You are already wealthy, but you must walk in it. Wealth is not just money, it's a state of being. A wealthy person walks differently. They think differently. They expect abundance, and because of that, they attract it. But a person with a poverty mindset will always repel blessings, even when God is trying to give them. It's time to shift from a survival mentality to a kingdom mentality. Stop speaking doubt over your future. Stop believing that success is only for other people. Stop playing small because you're afraid of stepping into your true calling. God has already written your victory. The only thing left for you to do is walk in it. Your faith activates your breakthrough. Your blessings are waiting for you. But they require faith to be unlocked. According to your faith, let it be done to you. Matthew 9:29. This is why so many chosen ones feel stuck. They are waiting for proof before they believe. But that's not how faith works. Faith is stepping forward before you see the evidence. Faith is claiming your breakthrough before it appears. Faith is believing the door will open before you even knock. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect before you take action, you will stay exactly where you are. God is saying, move and I will provide. Step forward and the way will be made clear. You are not meant to stay stuck. You are not meant to struggle forever. You are destined for greatness. But greatness requires boldness. Are you ready to claim what's already yours? Then it's time to take action. Your inheritance is waiting. Now that you understand your inheritance is already secured, the next step is to fully embody the person God created you to be. This is where many chosen ones struggle, not because they lack faith, but because they hesitate to step into their true power. It's one thing to know that God has already paid the price for your breakthrough. It's another thing to walk boldly in that truth every single day. Many chosen ones hold themselves back because they are afraid of outgrowing their environment. They worry about what others will think. They fear being misunderstood, losing friendships, or stepping into the unknown. But you cannot live in divine abundance while still clinging to the old version of yourself. No one puts new wine into old wineskins. Mark 2:22. If you want to receive new blessings, you must become the person who is ready to receive them. The shift from waiting to walking. Too many chosen ones are still waiting for something to happen. They pray for a breakthrough but hesitate when opportunities arise. They ask God for increase, but shrink back when responsibility comes with it. But true abundance requires you to walk in it before you fully see it. You must speak as if you are already victorious. You must act as if you are already successful. You must move as if every door is already open for you. God is not asking you to have everything figured out. He is asking you to trust Him and take the first step. Think about Peter walking on water. The moment he stepped out of the boat, he was defying everything the natural world said was possible. But the second he let fear creep in, he started sinking. The same applies to you. If you keep doubting yourself, if you keep questioning whether you are worthy of your blessings, you will always struggle. But the moment you trust, the moment you step forward with confidence, the supernatural begins to work in your favor. Letting go of the fear of success, one of the biggest things keeping chosen ones from stepping into divine abundance, is the fear of success. Yes, you heard that right. It's not just failure that people fear, it's the responsibility, the visibility, and the expectations that come with success. When God elevates you, things will change. You will no longer fit into the spaces you once did. People will start looking to you as a leader. Some will celebrate you, but others will try to pull you back into the old version of yourself. Are you ready for that? The question isn't whether God wants to bless you, the question is whether you are truly ready to receive it. Are you ready to handle the weight of your calling? Are you ready to lose people who can't handle your growth? Are you ready to break free from the comfort of mediocrity? Because the moment you say yes, things will start shifting fast. Your abundance will be a testimony, chosen ones. Your success is not just for you. Your breakthrough is meant to be a testimony to others. There are people watching you right now who don't even realize what God is about to do in your life. They have doubted you, underestimated you, and even spoken against you. But when they see what God does for you, they will have no choice but to believe. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Psalm 23:5. God is not just going to bless you, He is going to do it publicly. Your story will inspire others to step into their own calling. Your transformation will remind people that God is still working miracles. Your testimony will open doors for others who are still trapped in fear and doubt. So stop questioning whether you are ready. Stop waiting for permission. You have already been chosen. Your victory has already been won. It's time to walk in it. Chosen ones, this is your confirmation. The struggles, the tests, the setbacks, they were never meant to break you. They were designed to prepare you. Every obstacle you've faced, every tear you've shed, and every battle you've fought has led you to this moment. You don't have to keep waiting for a breakthrough. It has already been given to you. God has already paid the price. Your success, your abundance, your divine purpose, it's already yours. But now, the choice is in your hands. Will you step boldly into the life God has prepared for you? Or will you allow fear, doubt, and the opinions of others to hold you back? This is your time to rise. You were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were set apart for something greater. The world may not have recognized you yet, but heaven already has. You are a child of God, anointed, appointed, and chosen for such a time as this. So walk in faith, speak with authority, move as if every door has already been opened, because in the spiritual realm, it has. Your testimony is being written. And soon, everyone who doubted you will have no choice but to see the undeniable power of God working in your life. Your victory is already won. Now, go claim it. Have you ever felt like eyes are on you, even when you're alone? Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift? The silent stares, the whispers that stop the moment you turn your head? This is not a coincidence. You, the chosen one, are under constant observation. But it's not just from people, it's from forces beyond what the eye can see. Your very existence carries weight. Your presence shakes atmospheres. And because of that, you are being monitored by those who admire you, those who envy you, and those who fear what you are becoming. At first, they ignored you. They dismissed your ambitions. They laughed at your struggles, called you crazy for believing in yourself, for dreaming bigger than your circumstances. But now, they can't ignore you anymore. Your glow is undeniable. Your resilience is unshakable. Every setback they thought would break you, you turned it into a stepping stone. Every betrayal, you transformed it into wisdom. You were supposed to give up, quit, disappear, but instead, you rose, and now they're watching. Watching your every move, watching your next step. Some in awe, some in fear, because deep down, they know they misjudged you. There are people in your life, some close to you, some at a distance, who have been silently checking up on you. They don't support you openly, but they watch from the shadows. They scroll through your pages, listen to your words, analyze your progress, but never like, comment, or congratulate you. Why? Because they never expected you to make it this far. But it's not just the people you see. In the unseen realms, spiritual forces are at work. The enemy is watching too, because they know your breakthrough is near. They know your anointing is too powerful to be stopped. But here's the truth, they don't want you to realize this is just the beginning. Your best days are still ahead of you. So let them watch. Move wisely, stay alert, keep your spirit strong, because whether they like it or not, your time has come. If you feel this message in your soul, comment "I am chosen" below, and let's dive deeper into this truth together. There was a time when they dismissed you. They overlooked your potential, underestimated your strength, and assumed you would stay exactly where you were. They laughed when you struggled. They whispered behind your back, convinced that you would never make it. They found comfort in seeing you at your lowest, believing that as long as you remained down, their own shortcomings wouldn't feel so obvious. But something changed. You changed. The person they counted out, the one they ignored, The one they thought was broken beyond repair rose. Slowly, silently, and powerfully, you began to transform. At first, they didn't notice. They were too caught up in their own illusions to see what was happening. But as you started stepping into your power, the energy shifted. Now, the same people who once dismissed you can't stop watching. They don't clap when you succeed, but they never miss an update. They don't congratulate you, but they study your every move. They don't acknowledge your growth, yet somehow, they know every milestone you've reached. Why? Because deep down, they never truly believed you would make it this far. They assumed life would break you. They assumed you would give up. They assumed that the setbacks, betrayals, and disappointments would leave you stuck in a cycle of doubt, fear, and defeat. But instead, you rose from the ashes. You rebuilt yourself. Stronger and wiser, you embraced your calling, even when the path was uncertain. And now, you shine so brightly that they can no longer pretend not to see you. They don't understand how you survived. They don't understand why. After everything, you refuse to quit. They don't understand the force that carries you forward. But what they don't realize is that you were never walking this journey alone. You were never fighting these battles by yourself. The world tried to break you, but God was always with you, molding you into the warrior you were destined to be. Every struggle was a test of your endurance. Every trial was a lesson in resilience. Every moment of isolation was a divine recalibration, preparing you for what was to come. Now, the tables have turned. Those who once ignored you now observe you in silence. Some watch in admiration, others in confusion, and some with envy. They wonder how you are still standing. They wonder why, after everything you've faced, you are still walking forward with unshakable faith. They wonder how the person they wrote off is now walking in divine purpose. They won't admit it, but they see the glow that wasn't there before. They feel the presence that has become undeniable. They recognize the power they once ignored. And the truth is, they never expected you to make it because they didn't understand who you truly were. They only saw what they wanted to see: the struggles, the missteps, the challenges, but they failed to see what was within you all along. The strength, the vision, the purpose. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them witness firsthand what happens when a chosen one refuses to be stopped. Because this is only the beginning. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, even when they weren't around? Like eyes were always on you, observing your every move, your every decision, your every step forward. It is not just your imagination. It is real. There are people who can't help but keep track of you. They may not speak to you. They may not acknowledge you. They may pretend you don't even exist. But in the quiet corners of their minds, you are always there. They scroll through your posts. They listen to what others say about you. They watch from a distance, waiting, wondering, analyzing. They do this because deep down, they know you carry something different. Something powerful, something divine. Some watch you because they expected you to fail. They thought life would break you. They assumed that after everything you endured, you would give up. But you didn't. You kept going. You refused to be defeated. Your resilience confuses them because, in their eyes, you were not supposed to rise. They thought your story was over. Yet here you are, walking in strength, moving with purpose, glowing with a light they can't explain. Others watch because they are searching for cracks in your armor. They wait for any sign of struggle, any moment of weakness, any reason to say, "I knew it wouldn't last." They don't want to believe that you are truly free, that you have truly stepped into your power. Your success forces them to confront their own limitations, and that is a reality they are not ready to face. Then there are those who watch because they regret how they treated you. They see now what they failed to recognize before. They misjudged you. They dismissed you. They labeled you as ordinary when in reality, you were never meant to fit in. Now, as they watch you shine, as they see the doors opening for you, they are forced to admit that they were wrong. But here is the truth. None of this is about them. It never was. This is about your purpose. This is about your journey. This is about the divine calling on your life that was set before time began. Whether they accept it or not, whether they support you or not, whether they continue to watch from the shadows or not, none of it changes the truth. You were chosen. Your anointing is not dependent on their approval. Your destiny does not require their validation. The very people who ignored you, who spoke against you, who doubted your potential, are now watching because they see the undeniable truth. You were never meant to stay in the background. Every storm you survived, every battle you fought, every tear you cried, it was all leading to this moment. They can't stop watching because they are witnessing something supernatural, something unexplainable, something beyond human understanding. You have walked through the fire and come out refined. You have faced the storm and stood firm. You were being prepared for this. Now, as you step fully into your purpose, they will continue to watch. Some will admire, some will envy, some will wish they had stood beside you instead of against you. But the outcome has already been decided. You have already won. You may have felt it your entire life, the unshakable sense that eyes are always on you. Whether it was in school, at work, in public places, or even within your own family, there was always this lingering feeling that people were observing, analyzing, and trying to figure you out. Sometimes it made you uncomfortable. Other times it made you question yourself. But now, you are beginning to realize that this was never a coincidence. When you carry a divine calling, you cannot go unnoticed. There's something about you that shifts the atmosphere when you walk into a room. You do not have to say a word, yet your energy speaks volumes. People may not always know why, but they feel it. Some are drawn to it, while others feel uneasy in your presence. Some admire it and look to you for inspiration, while others watch from a distance, trying to decipher why you make them so uncomfortable. But the truth is, it is not you that unsettles them, it is the light within you. There are those who watch you because they see something in you that they need. They recognize the strength, the resilience, and the wisdom you carry. They may not say it out loud, but deep down, they admire the way you navigate life's challenges with grace and unwavering faith. They have seen you endure hardship and rise above struggles that would have broken most people. Your very existence proves to them that survival is possible, that transformation is real, and that faith can carry a person through even the darkest storms. But not everyone watching is watching with good intentions. Some are watching because they fear what you are becoming. They sense that you are on the verge of something great, and that terrifies them. They see the shifts happening in your life, the way God is elevating you, the way you are stepping into your power, and it makes them uneasy. These are the ones who never supported you. Yet suddenly, they seem to be interested in everything you do. They never encouraged you, yet now they are paying close attention to your every move. They are not watching out of admiration. They are watching out of anxiety. They see the anointing on your life, and they know that once you fully embrace who you are meant to be, nothing will be able to stop you. They know that the same person they once underestimated is now becoming unstoppable, and that realization shakes them to their core. But here is the truth that you must embrace. Being watched is not a curse. It is not something to fear. It is a confirmation that you are on the right path. It is a divine sign that your presence, your growth, and your transformation are causing shifts in the world around you. This is not the time to shrink yourself. This is not the time to dim your light just to make others more comfortable. This is the time to stand tall, to walk boldly in your purpose, and to let the world witness the power of what God is doing in your life. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be overlooked. You were always meant to be a leader, a light in the darkness, a living testament to what faith and perseverance can do. Do not let the pressure of being watched make you question your worth. Do not let their opinions, their gossip, or their silent judgments make you second-guess your journey. They may never tell you to your face, but deep down, they know what is happening. They see the shifts in your life. They feel the power radiating from you. They recognize that something supernatural is taking place, something beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond what the world expected. And that miracle they are witnessing, that undeniable force of transformation and victory, is you. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when everything suddenly makes sense. All the battles, the silent struggles, the moments of isolation, the betrayals, and even the constant feeling of being watched, it was all leading to this. You were never just another person walking through life unnoticed. You were always set apart, always carrying something different, something rare, something powerful. And now, those who once doubted you are starting to realize it too. At first, they may have dismissed you. They labeled you as strange, too different, too intense. They overlooked your potential, believing you would never rise beyond what they assumed was possible for you. Some even laughed at your dreams, belittled your visions, and tried to discourage you from pursuing what was in your heart. They watched from a distance, waiting for you to give up, waiting for you to fail. But what they never saw coming was your resilience. They never anticipated that despite everything thrown at you, you would still rise. They did not expect you to keep moving forward, to keep believing, to keep standing firm in your faith. While they were watching, hoping for your downfall, something far greater was happening. God was elevating you in ways they could not comprehend. Now, the very people who doubted you are watching in silence, trying to figure out how you managed to break through. They see the transformation happening before their eyes, and it terrifies them. They wonder how you kept going despite the obstacles. They wonder why the things that should have destroyed you only made you stronger. They see that the same person they once overlooked is now walking with divine confidence, standing in a position of authority, and embracing a power they cannot explain. What they do not realize is that it was never about you alone. It was never just your strength, your intelligence, or your perseverance. It was always God working through you. It was always a divine plan unfolding, one that no enemy, no setback, and no amount of opposition could stop. Every challenge, every hardship, every painful experience was shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. And now, they cannot ignore it any longer. The evidence is too clear. The glow on your face, the peace in your spirit, the blessings unfolding in your life, it is undeniable. They see the favor surrounding you, the way doors are opening, the way opportunities are chasing you, and they are left speechless. They are realizing that you were never ordinary, never meant to be confined by their limited expectations. You were always chosen, always marked for greatness. Some will try to come back into your life, pretending they always believed in you. Some will try to take credit for your success, acting as if they knew all along that you would make it. Others will remain silent, watching from the shadows, too ashamed to admit they misjudged you. But no matter how they react, one truth remains the same. They see you now. They see what God has done, and they cannot deny it. This is your time to step fully into your destiny. This is the moment where you no longer need their approval, their validation, or their recognition. You were never doing this for them anyway. Your path has always been guided by something greater. And now, you are walking in the fullness of what was meant for you all along. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them question. Because at the end of the day, the truth is clear: you have already won. There is no more need to prove yourself. No more need to explain, to justify, or to seek validation from those who never truly understood your path. Everything you have endured, everything you have fought through, has led you to this moment. And now, the truth is undeniable: you have already won. The eyes that once overlooked you are now fixed on you with wonder and disbelief. The voices that once doubted you have fallen silent, realizing they misjudged you all along. The same people who dismissed you, underestimated you, and even worked against you are now forced to acknowledge that you were never ordinary. You were always chosen, but your victory was never about proving them wrong. It was never about seeking revenge or holding on to resentment. It was always about stepping fully into the purpose that was meant for you. It was always about trusting the divine plan, even when you could not see the way forward. And now, as the pieces come together, you understand why you had to go through everything you did. The hardships were never meant to break you, they were meant to prepare you. The delays were never meant to deny you, they were meant to refine you. So stand firm, keep walking in your purpose with your head held high. You do not need to look back. You do not need to explain your journey to those who never walked it with you. You are stepping into a season where God's favor is undeniable, where blessings will unfold before you effortlessly, and where no one can take away what has already been written for you. They are watching, yes, but they are not in control. They never were. You belong to something greater, something higher, something that no human being can stop or alter. And that is why you have already won. Stay ready, stay faithful, keep moving forward, because this is only the beginning.